What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a fantastic Thursday. We are here. It's in the afternoon here. Usually I like to put these out at night, but got a lot going on today. Spending some time with the family. Hope you're all enjoying the holiday season, but wanted to put this bad boy out here before I head out. So want to talk about the top 13 matchups here between the Eagles and the Cardinals. We'll take a look at the stats and standings for both teams, what both teams look like. And obviously tomorrow I'll have that updated injury report with the game status report. You'll get an injury report tonight, so I'll keep you up to date with all of that. But we'll take a gander and talk about some of the injuries that are going down with these teams. And then we'll look at the top 13 matchups. But I would love to hear your thoughts down below. Appreciate you taking the time, hitting that like button, subscribing, all the things you're doing to support the channel. Cannot thank you enough. Now, let's jump right into this bad boy. And we're going to start it off with the stats and the standings for both of these teams, how they're looking so far this season. And the Eagles, obviously, 11-4, tied for the best record in the NFL. And if you listen to the media and some of the casual fans, season's over, got to fire and cut everyone right before the playoffs start. Wild thought process there, ladies and gentlemen. But for me, I'm riding all the way to the top with my birds. So let's effing go, all of you sickos. But you see, the Eagles, we control our destiny in the NFC East. We just need to win out, go do our thing, and it is ours. Back-to-back for the first time in over 20 years. Let's go. Now, in the West, things are a little different here. Cardinals on the bottom. So 3-12. You see the Niners tied with the Eagles for the best record in the NFL at 11-4. The Rams and Seahawks there. The Seahawks pulling off an upset the other week against us. Oh, look, in the NFL, anything can happen. So you got to watch out, especially a game with Gannon, who is familiar with this team. And look, they are on the complete opposite side of the spectrum here. We are second in the NFC, and they are second to last. So look, teams like that, they are hungry. They want to upset teams that, you know, have very important things going on here. So you cannot sleep on this team, and we need to get things together. So I think this team's going to come out with a fire. And, you know, the media gets people really misconstrued, you know, having a terrible season. The offense can't get anything going. I disagree. 7th in points is pretty good. 8th in yardage, also pretty good. 14th in passing, 6th in rushing, 10th in sacks allowed there. And here's the issue: turnovers. So we talk about, you know, what this Eagles team does, and that's shoot themselves in the foot. These losses, the struggles they've had, these are all fixable things that they can get right. So that's where my optimism comes in. Clean these things up, start playing the football, you know, get more creative, open up the playbook, as we've talked about, more, you know, different personnel rather than just running the same damn shit and expecting it to work over and over again. It doesn't. Now, on the defensive side of the ball, we made a little switcheroo there. Deshaun Desai goes up into the box. Matt Patricia now down on the field running the same D. But look, he has a different mindset with the personnel things going on. I'd like to see these young guys getting time. But you can see 25th in points, 20th in yards, 27th against the pass, 8th against the run, 15th in sacks, and not getting turnovers. So that turnover margin, do not like it. You're going to lose games like that. So got to clean things up, get things figured out. And against a team like the Cardinals, it's a perfect time to do it. 26th in points, 24th in yardage or total yardage, 29th in passing, 9th in rushing. And you see 2.7 sacks given up per game. Now, the Eagles only got 1 sack last week, and we played a team that had double the amount, last in the league, giving up like 5.4, I believe it was. So yikes. Now, not turning the ball over too much, so that is great, even with all the different quarterbacks they've had there. So the offense, they got Kyler Murray. They've got some pieces we'll take a look at here. But the defense, you know, Gannon, obviously a lot of new pieces, a lot of people banged up, and we'll look at that here in a second. But, you know, 31st in points, 27th in total yardage, 12th in passing, 32nd against the run. You know what I'm going to say. Run the damn ball. 2.2 sacks per game. And, you know, obviously a very young defense, a lot of different pieces trying to find their way here. And, well, we just hope that the Eagles don't let them find their way here this Sunday. So, dude, we're a much better team, and there's just no excuse not to go out here unless you shoot yourself in the foot that you shouldn't lose this game. So don't shoot yourself in the foot, and you can go out here, whoop some ass. Now, let's take a look at this Eagles team. Anyone green? They are new to the team this season. So you can see here, Vontae Maddox with the asterisk. He is designated to return. We'll see if he comes back this week. And obviously looking very much so forward to Isaiah Rodgers coming back next year. Maybe we get Dean back for the playoffs. Only time will tell. Now, Jalen Hurts is not new to the team, but if you saw the show yesterday, I just didn't change this graphic. But everyone else in green there, new to the squad. Hurts was questionable last week, so he was orange, and I changed it and apparently made it green. So there it is. But look, Landon Dickerson, full participant yesterday. He is back at practice again today. Looks like he will be there, good to go, getting our offensive line intact. Let's effing go. You saw Olamide Julio taking over for Quez, so I'm going to change that as well when I change the color of Hurts for tomorrow's game status report. And look, you need to continue doing that. Less snaps for Quez. Run that damn ball with Swift, and this offense can get things going now. On the defensive side of the ball, Slay probably going to miss another game, but looks like Morrow and Cunningham could be back. Both were limited in practice, so fantastic news there. And look, Ringo's been stepping in for Slay, so I'm very excited about what he's been doing. We'll talk about that here shortly with these matchups. But, this team, obviously, a lot of injuries, things going on this year, trying to still find their way on offense and defense. And look, the special teams unit, they've actually been pretty good this year. And I know I got a lot of heat for, supporting Britton Covey, but, he's the best punt returner in the game. That's why I like him. I liked him before that, but I'm just saying that, he's pretty good. So it's good to have good special teamers continue doing well in that area. Man, Lovato, Elliott, everybody doing pretty well. So like to see that. Now here's the practice squad, 8 on offense, 8 on defense. If they want to elevate anyone, that is their practice squad choices. Now let's get into the Cardinals here. And you can see their reserves. They've got a full list. Anyone in black here is new to the team this season, but these are the guys you will not see on the depth chart. You can go check out behind enemy lines. That will explain all of this stuff, breaking down everything going on with the Cardinals. But let's take a gander here. Kyler Murray missed practice yesterday, and today I believe he's missing it again. So look, man, he's got an illness, but, he's expected to play. But either way, hey, you don't want to be missing practice, and we got to hope that we can capitalize on that. But look, you see a lot of new depth pieces there for them, some new starters there. They got the rookie Paris Johnson at right tackle. So some new pieces, but nothing that I'm afraid of. I really like Trey McBride. I think he's a really good tight end, so we got to watch out for that. We're going to talk about that in the matchups. But here you see on defense, again, got a lot of injuries. You saw that IR list, no Kaiser White, and also Woods, their other linebacker. So you've got free agent Chris Barnes and rookie Owen Popo there, linebacker. Run that damn ball down their throats. They've got injuries in the secondary. We'll see if Garrett Williams can play, what's going on, how they move things around. Sasha Ray's been stepping in, former Eagle. So we'll see how things go there. But special teams, everybody good, healthy there. So, and look, I do believe, actually, they did have some guys on the injury report. Now, when I had mentioned Williams, he was limited yesterday. But other than that, the guys that didn't practice were Marquise Brown, Ledbetter, Collins, and that was it other than Murray there. So if they need to elevate anyone, here is their practice squad, 10 on offense, and you see the 6 on defense. They have an open spot because Sykovitz there is actually exempt due to being an international player, part of that program. So that is what both teams look like. Now let's take a look at these top 13 matchups. Love to hear your thoughts on this, what your top matchup is, what you're looking out for. You disagree, agree with whatever I'm saying, whatever's on your mind, let me hear it. But let's jump into this now that we've seen how both teams are doing this season, what they look like. Let's look at these top matchups. And my guy starting us off at 13 here, Britton Covey, baby. And Greg Dortch on the other side is actually pretty talented. Now, a lot of people, when we talked about the trade deadline, talked about getting a returner. Greg Dortch can do both kick returning and punt returning. He averages 9.3 yards per return. That's 11th in the NFL. Britton Covey is second in the NFL, 14.61 yards per return, but he's first with 409 punt return yards. So keep killing it, Britton Covey. The cries to get rid of him have finally stopped, I do believe, now that he's number 1 in the NFL. So fantastic. I would love to see, just like we talked about last week, a spark from the special teams unit. And Britton Covey gave us 2 of them. So love that. Now, we made a joke last week about Boston Scott never gets to kick return. Yeah, maybe we see why. Wow. Now, not necessarily his fault that Olamide gets tossed 500 yards back into him, but you don't want to see that stuff. So Covey or Scott, whoever wants to lay it down, go ahead. But Dortch, he'll be handling both duties. We got to shut him down. He is a talented young man, and they'll use him on offense too. So watch out for Dortch. Now, let's jump into this. And the way this goes, we talked about special teams there. Now, Obviously, you need Jake Elliott whenever, he's on the field to do his thing. But we're going to look at the Eagles defense first, and the kind of importance there, and then it goes into the Eagles offense. So try not to get too caught up with the numbers here, but starting us off here, the interior. Let's be real here. We have one of the deepest fronts, and I just don't understand what's going on. We've been getting pressure. And look, I'm not somebody that's like, oh, you got to have sacks. Like look, stats aren't always the most important thing, but you do need to create plays to, get negative yards, get turnovers, and you're not getting those turnovers. And I just really feel that these guys, look, figure out whatever you got to do with the rotation there. But my God, you've got Carter, Dave, and you saw Carter playing the least amount of snaps last week. And each week you talk about certain matchups, how people match up. And, these rookies, we've talked about taking your time, developing them. Carter was the one that was thrown into the fire. So, look, all four of them can be used. I'm not worried about him, whatever snaps he's getting. All four of them need to be used. And, hopefully they're keeping these young guys really fresh because realize they come from college where, they're not playing this many effing weeks. So they've got to get their bodies used to it. Maybe we're keeping them fresh for the playoffs, and not necessarily saying like you're trying to lose or anything. You just maybe don't overhaul them. And it's a smart decision, in my opinion. We need these young guys for the playoffs. Now, interior wise, and actually before I jump off, sorry, I talked about the Eagles and didn't say a damn word about the Cards, my bad. But, they added Froholt and Wilkinson in free agency. They got Hernandez the other year, but Hernandez actually playing pretty well. Considering what we remember from the Giants days. But, I think that Froholt, he has been somewhat different there in the sense of, he's doing okay. Their best lineman is Hernandez, though, interior-wise, and then Wilkinson's just trash. So whoever's lining up on Elijah Wilkinson, and he just started, like his first start, he's a rookie. So, I mean, getting thrown in the fire, maybe he improves, but you got to attack there, go after him. But that is their weakest link there. And then, when you talk about their tackles, they are actually, two of the better players here. I think that on their line, Hernandez is still the best out of all of them. But, when you're looking at Humphreys here, he's doing and then you look at Paris Johnson, he's definitely having his rookie mistakes. So these guys have had their issues here. And look, I think that, this Eagles team, we talk about the rotation. I don't, obviously we got a new mindset here as to what we're doing, but man, we should be able to get more pressure, more sacks with what we have. And I think a nice rotation would go a long way. Now, Humphreys has given up 4 sacks here. Paris Johnson's given up 8 on the season. So there's no reason this team, and obviously last week we talked about it. Oh, they're giving up 5.4 and we only got 1 sack. So whoever's got to do it. And that sack was from our linebacker, by the way, just letting you know. So let's get things going here on this offensive line. And you've got, a very dual threat, a versatile quarterback. So got to watch out there. We'll talk about him in a second, but let's dominate in the trenches. Now, these receivers that Kyler Murray has, we talked about Marquise Brown. He's banged up right now. And look, I think for me, obviously a talented kid, but obviously things not working out so great there. So look, I'm not afraid of Michael Wilson, Rondale Moore, Zach Pascal's there, Greg Dortch we talked about. So these guys, decent players here, but nothing that I am afraid of. I'm just being real with you. Marquise Brown, 11.3 yards per catch, got 4 touchdowns, only 574 yards this season. Wilson's got 15.5 yards per catch, 2 touchdowns, a nice rookie stepping up for them. So of all of them, I watch out for him. Rondale Moore not doing much, only 295 yards, 8.9 yards per catch, and a touchdown. But they're hoping to get these receivers going, but we're hoping to get our young corners going here. And look, James Bradbury, we've talked about it. He's had his mistakes. PFF has him at a 55.7 grade. Oh, not great. That is the worst other than Eli Ricks, who is a 42. But he is not a starter, but we do use him now with Bradbury struggling. We're trying to get these young guys reps. But you look at the other guys. Roby, he's got a 60.8 PFF grade. And then Slay, who's not playing, 68.4. So he's having a decent year. But who's having the best? Kaylee Ringo, who has a 69 PFF grade and a short sample size. But keep in mind, he's a rookie, so he's going to make mistakes. He's still learning. going to get better. Very excited about him. So we talk about when Slay comes back. Will it be Ringo, Slay, and Roby? Or do we get Maddox back and it's Ringo, Slay, and Maddox? And, maybe you let go of Roby. Bradbury back there, as depth piece. We talked about using him as a dime backer. So, look, you're going to find these things out. And what a better, there's no better game to do that than this team. They're decent receivers, but ones we should be able to work. Now, one thing we talked about that they are good at is running that damn ball. And James Conner still got it, man. Still got a lot left in the tank. Love his story. But look, we know that Cunningham, he is hopefully back this week. It has been a big loss without him. You got Morrow, you got Leonard, and you got Ben Van Sumer in here. So, look, we saw that the other two stepped up. We used some edge rushers as off-ball linebackers. We got it done the best we could. But if we get our two linebackers back, that will be huge against a team that loves to use James Conner. So they're going to try to pound that rock. They're going to try to give it to him in the air. He can beat you anywhere, man. He is a very talented running back. But look, there's no reason that and he's a tough dude. We have had our issues, tackling. So, dude, bring out the toughness. Let's lay the wood here. Let's whoop his ass here. And it's going to be a tough matchup. So I am definitely looking forward to that one. Now, number 8 here, Trey McBride talked about it. This kid is a stud, dude. And, he's having a great season for them so far. He's actually their leading receiver, 743 yards, 10.3 yards per catch, 2 touchdowns. And look, a very talented kid. We've had our issues there, but if we get those linebackers back, we get this safety help that we need. And look, Sidney Brown has had his issues, but he is a rookie. He's got a 57.9 PFF grade, but on the bright side, Kevin Byard a 72.5 grade, and then Reed Blankenship a 74.7 PFF grade. So Blankenship, the best safety, then Byard, then Brown. But these guys, they need to do their work. All the linebackers, everybody doing what they can to shut this guy down because he is going to get somewhere in the area of 10-plus targets. I can guarantee you that. So let's shut him down. Going to be key, but the biggest key shutting down their offense, obviously Kyler Murray here. And, obviously missed a lot of this season. And, a lot of talk about him. He only played in 6 games, got 1,300 yards, 217.5 yards per game, though. He's got 6 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, been sacked 16 times. So let's get after him. He's very elusive. We got to do everything we can. And, whatever defense you're going to try to work here, look, a lot of people, you want to send the house. I'm not against, blitzing here and there, getting that pressure we're looking for, the sacks, the things that, cause those turnovers. But, you got to watch out with him. He can escape the pocket. Make sure you guys are staying in your lanes, doing what you need to do, because this dude, whether you want to use a spy, somebody on him, not sure what Patricia wants to do here, but I'm not too afraid of him, in the air. He can throw the ball, but I think if you get him rattled, we'll be just fine here. So watch out for him using those legs. But this Eagles defense, time to step it up and show that they can shut somebody down here. Do not let Kyler Murray run amok on you. Now, let's get into this defense here. And look, this, offense, obviously, we've talked about it. They've had their struggles. I'm not sure what happened in a couple of these graphics, why it moved some of these down. I don't know if you saw it with the linebackers there, but all right, no doubt. But Dickerson, Kelsey, and Juergens there, you can see, look, having Dickerson back will be huge, but they've got some big boys in the middle. Ledbetter, we talked about him missing practice, but they got Roy Lopez, Kevin Strong there, and then the rookie Dante Stills, as you see pictured there. But I think that, these beasts up in front, we've been doing pretty well. And, Kelsey obviously having a great season, Dickerson having a great season, and Juergens is actually having a pretty good season when healthy too. So one of the best interiors going up against, one of these interiors that I'm not so afraid of. I'm going to be real with you. There's no reason that we shouldn't be able to run all over them, protect Jalen Hurts, all of the above, because this team, they're just not that great. I know it's NFL, anything can happen, but to me, I'm not worried about it, man. They're 32nd against the run, 26th in sacks, 12th against the pass. This team, I'm not worried about Jonathan Gannon and his defense. I know he knows the system, but we should be able to spank them, and I really hope we do. Now, on the outside of the line here, Johnson and Mailata, vastly improved line for the Eagles as of late, 10th in sacks given up now. And look, they got Zaven Collins, Dennis Gardeck, and hey, we played an Ojulari last week. Now we've got I think it's his brother there, BJ. So you've got, a nice rotation there. And I think that, they're decent, but again, one of the bottom of the pack in sacks. I'm not worried about this team. I really think, and Lane, weirdly enough, is giving up 3 sacks. Mailata giving up 2, and PFF has Mailata rated better. So Mailata having a great season for the Eagles here, but Gardeck's got 6 sacks, and they used Timakaji too, another depth piece of theirs. He's got 4 sacks on the season, as well as Ojulari, who has 4. So Zaven Collins is actually 3.5, has the least out of all those guys, but got to watch out. You know Gannon's going to have those odd fronts trying to create pressure with those guys up front. So this Eagles line, got to be ready for what they're throwing at you with the disguises and all that great stuff Gannon likes to do. Now, you could see this secondary, little banged up. Garrett Williams, not sure if he's going to play. He was limited in practice. That's a good sign for them. They've got Starling Thomas. They've got Antonio Hamilton there. But these receivers, man, we talked about getting OZ, getting Julio more reps than Watkins. Obviously, we know with Devontae and AJ both having great seasons, both over 1,000 yards already, which is insane. But they are kicking ass, taking names. They should both have big games again. I'm expecting huge games. And obviously, the media is going to be upset about it. You know, oh, they're giving the ball too much now to AJ. So it's always something each week. You got to expect these people just want the Eagles to fail and are very whiny. So you got 1,394 yards for AJ. So 1,394, 13.8 yards per catch with 7 touchdowns. 7 touchdowns for Devontae as well, 13.3 yards per catch with 1,036 yards. So these dudes are smoking them. But let's get Olamide. More reps. Julio, yeah, okay, but less Watkins. That is what I've been begging for months. So I'm very happy last week how it went down. Those things, you know, when you talk about Olamide, you talk about the tight end, all those things that open up because of the receivers, you got to get those guys the ball too. You can't just be forcing it. So, look, I understand trying to make plays, and when they work, everyone's happy. So, you got to understand the context of everything, but you do have to just simplify things sometimes, man, and get a little more creative with what you're doing, but it's truly just simple stuff here. So, hoping these receivers do some work here. And as I mentioned, they've got injuries there. So, Sasha Ray, the safety, has been playing some nickel corner for them as well. And you've got Budda Baker. Jalen Thompson can play nickel as well. Very versatile defensive back. So got some good pieces here. But like last week, I added, Stoll and Calcaterra with Goddard because I want to see them getting some work. And we actually finally saw that last week. So got my damn wish. But, keep feeding these guys. More 12, maybe even a little 13 personnel. I think this team can really shine there, running that ball, keeping a defense on their toes, not just shotgun RPOs every damn play. So, look, very excited about the possibility here of this matchup. And I talked about, what I saw this week, and I didn't like, not attacking the middle of the field. What the hell? Like, I know you can. What are we doing here? The play calling, the decision-making, whatever it is, need to get it figured out. And, Goddard, Stoll, Calcaterra, I mean, they can catch balls on the outside too, but attack the middle of the field. And I think against this team with their struggling linebackers, you could definitely do that. And, they're going to have their safety help here. And Budda Baker, Jalen Thompson, they are pretty damn good. And, a lot of people wanted Budda Baker. Thompson actually has a better PFF grade, 72.5. I mean, take all that with a grain of salt, but I give those to you because I know a lot of people rely on that stuff as gospel. So Budda Baker rated 67.7 in comparison to the Eagles there. What was Reed Blankenship down there? 74.7. So our best safety doing much better than Budda Baker. So a lot of people pissed off we didn't trade for him, but Byard's doing better than him as well. So not really a big deal that we didn't get him. I think that it's time for Goddard to do some work here and could be a big game for him. Very excited to see that. Now, most importantly, run the damn ball and, run it correctly. And that's what we've talked about for the last couple of months. A lot of people, you got to run the ball. It's like, well, we are running it. It's just about when you're running it, how you're running it, and what out of, formations you're running it out of. So, now with them, no Kaiser White and also Josh Woods on IR. So you've got Owen Popo. You've got Chris Barnes here. Dude, run that effing ball right down their throat. And we talked about Swift, people sleeping on him, having a great season so far, 988 yards, so 12 yards, and he's got a 1,000-yard season, 4.6 yards per carry, 5 touchdowns. He's doing great. And Gainwell also having a good season, 4 yards per carry there. He's got two touchdowns. So he's doing well. But keep it at, the 60-40-ish range, I think. I like to see a combination of both, keeping them fresh. I know a lot of people don't like that, but Gainwell is a better blocker, a tougher runner. Swift, more of your elusive back. So both have a different style. I like using both of them. We talked about it all year. People still unsure of what's going on. Why Rashad Penny is not the starter as RB4. Just to let you know, RB4 means you are the 4th running back they're not going to activate him, but they're not going to just release depth players because they don't start. You got to have depth too in case anything happens like it did this season when Gainwell and Scott have missed time and Penny played. So, yeah, but use the two backs, the main backs that you use them not only in the ground, but in the air as well. I think we could really do some work to these guys. And so most importantly, get Swift and Gainwell the ball, run that damn thing right down their throats. But number one here is QB1, Jalen Hurts. And look, man, we know, we see the haters. You got to trade him, got to cut him. We knew he was a bust. Like, Jesus, man. We understand that you're upset that you were wrong about him developing, but let's just give it a rest here, man. The kid is phenomenal. He's been holding us in some of these games that we would have lost. And going up against the Cardinals D that gives up 216 yards per game, which is 12th in the league, 2.2 sacks per game, which is 26, as we talked about earlier. So no reason that Jalen Hurts can't come out here and do work to these guys. He's got 3,636 yards on the season, 242.4 yards per game. He's got a 65.5 completion percentage, thrown for 20 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, been sacked 34 times. Now, 576 rushing yards, 3.9 yards per carry with 15 rushing touchdowns. So, my Lord, 35 total touchdowns there. That is pretty fantastic. This dude's still in the MVP conversation from just how valuable he is to this team and what he means. And obviously not a system quarterback like Brock Purdy. This is a real deal quarterback who will, on 3rd and 20, get you out of jam and turn around the game, whereas your coach, unlike the Niners, who when they're down, they have to just pretty much quit because their quarterback can't bring them back. So unfortunate to see. Luckily, we have a real quarterback here on the Philadelphia Eagles who, that's my MVP, man. This dude, he is phenomenal. So going up against this Cardinals D, you know Gannon is very familiar with him. He's going to try to do what he can to get Jalen Hurts rattled, bring the house at him. You saw he got blitzed the most he's been blitzed this season last week against Wink Martindale. We knew that was going to happen, but look how it worked out for him. I thought Hurts did fantastic against the blitz. I just think you could add some more things to help him out. He did fantastic because he's running for his life at the time, but it's like, think you could really just open the playbook up more. And I mean, for months now, I'm talking about it. Alameda, Calcaterra, getting some of these. I mean, you can get Goddard and AJ and Devontae the ball too, but I'm saying you open things up, man. And when they're blitzing, you got to get the ball out quick. They're obviously keying on some of these more focal points. I don't know, spread the defense out. All these things I just keep repeating. Maybe they'll do them and we will find success throughout the playoffs and go win that Super Bowl that I am still predicting. Yes, that's right. I still feel this team can get things figured out and on the road to victory. But ladies and gentlemen, that's all I've got for you today. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, do me a favor, hit that like button. You can always subscribe down below. Would love to hear your thoughts. What is your favorite matchup? What are you looking forward to? Maybe you have a score prediction. Whatever's on your mind, I would love to hear it. If you need me, please feel free to reach out. But until I'm going to post the injury report later, don't think it'll be a video, but tomorrow you'll get the video with the game status report, and then I'll have Fan Friday for you. Whenever the hell that's going to be, still got to try to figure that out. Got some things going on tomorrow, my nephew's birthday. So, whew, that's everything. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you have a great rest of your day. But until next time, I'm Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. You all stay safe out there. Have a great day, and as always, say it with me now. Go Birds!